In this video, I will show you the basic concepts involved in using web fonts from the Google Font Library and from the Font Awesome library. On this page, I am using a Google font at the top of my page and also further down. This icon is from the Font Awesome library. When you go to the Google Fonts page, you will see some sample fonts that are available for your use. On the right-hand side, you will see different categories. Notice they are all checked. So if you were wanting a sans serif font, you could uncheck, and this would only be sans serif fonts. You also can sort for different features of your font. Now we see what the font looks like when we hover over, and you can change some of the features here. One nice thing about Google Fonts is that you can select the text and add your own. By doing this, you can see what your website text will look like in the font before you try to use it. Notice when I hover over, I can choose Apply to All Fonts, and I get a better idea of how the font would look. Once I have decided on a font, I can click the plus sign, and a window will pop up. I will expand that window, and it will show me exactly how to embed that font on my web page. Because this is hosted, I need to reference the Google Fonts library using the CSS link tag. This will be placed in the head section of my document on top of my embedded CSS. I also need to use the font family property in order to apply that font. So here we see in my web page, I have the link to the Google hosted fonts, and here I am applying it using the font family property to the selector of my choice. Notice that you can also style this font as you would any other font. Font Awesome is a collection of icons. Unlike the icons that we have been working with, which are JPEG, PNG, or GIF, these are vector icons. Therefore, they are easy to use and very scalable. They are also called font icons because essentially they can be styled similar to a font. You can download the library or use it with the Content Delivery Network, which is provided for you. So I would first start out with here, how to use. It tells you how to use the free CDN. And this would be the main link tag that we would use, which would have all of the free icons. So with the free icons, you have solid icons and brands. However, if you were only using solid, then you could click and use that CDN. How to reference it in your markup. All of the Font Awesome icons are implemented as a class. Actually, there are two classes. The first is FAS, which is the category description. In our case, it would be the free basic icons. And then another class, which would actually be the name of that icon. Notice that they are using the I element to embed this font. You don't have to use I, you could use span, or you could just place it wherever you would normally place a class. However, this seems to be the convention. So here we see the different styles, the style prefix, and an example of the implementation of that font. On the right-hand side, we see some very interesting ways to style these fonts. Remember, these are icon fonts. So you can change the sizing very easily by just adding another class. You can make them fixed width by adding to that class. You can style them with CSS. You can rotate them different degrees by adding a class. They also have some animated icons. And there are more things that you can do with these icons. So back to the Getting Started page, where we learned how to reference it in your markup using a class, now we can click the link to find the right icon. There are over 3,000 icons in all. However, we will only be concerned with the free icons, which narrows down our choice. We have a choice of solid, regular, light, and brands. So you can also narrow down that category, and you can also search. The search will be in that category that you have checked. So if we want to check all of our categories, you see they are all checked. And supposing I wanted to search for something that might lend itself to an academic environment. Notice that nothing is found. I will try another keyword. Now I see that I have a few more icons that match the word school. Notice that the word phone yields 14 results. You commonly see these icons being used on mobile devices because they are highly scalable. Once you select an icon, you can click on it and it will take you to the page for that icon, and you can actually see different variations. At the bottom of that page, it shows you the name of that class so that you can implement it. Notice to the right of it, this is the Unicode symbol that will also put that icon on the page. Notice on the right we are working with a solid icon. There are some other choices, but they are with the Pro account, and we are using the free account. The Font Awesome library is now at version 5.1. It is included in many common frameworks, WordPress templates, and in the Bootstrap framework. So here I am using the Font Awesome icon, and you can see that I am implementing that using the I element. Should I wish to style it, I can apply a style to that class, and here I am applying the color to navy. Again, this works like a font, and now you can see that indeed it is navy. It is very important to understand how to use icon fonts because they are highly used in the industry today.